going on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 22 Ultimate Team video. It's time for Team of the Week predictions for week number 6. We're going to get right on into it and start with Kyler Murray. Who is playing better than Kyler Murray? Not a lot of people. He's having a great season. Now, there were a lot of really good performances yesterday from quarterbacks, but all of the players who had good performances, I don't think they're really in a space to get an upgrade. Now, Kyler, I think, had a good week yesterday, right? But I also don't think he's going to get a card based on yesterday's performance. We'll talk about that in a little while later on in the video, but let's mention what he did yesterday. Only 229 passing yards, not a ton, pretty good, pretty solid, but 4 passing touchdowns. And you can kind of take a look at the pricing on his core elite, his 87 team of the week, which he got in week number 1, and even his power up. They're all kind of going up in price. So the community thinks that Kyler is getting an upgrade, and I'm not going to disagree. Now, you guys can let me know down below in the comment section, who do you think's going to be getting a Team of the Week card for week number 6? Let me know if you disagree or agree with anything that we're going to state in this video. And if you guys enjoy this video, do me a favor, go ahead and click that thumbs up, show some support on the video. I appreciate you guys so much. Now let's move on to the running backs. Jonathan Taylor for the Colts yesterday, blowout win against the Texans. And I think Jonathan Taylor, he's kind of had the opportunity to get some upgrades for LTDs from prior year performances for Team of the Week. But this year in 2021, he had a good week number 6, 145 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Just overall having a pretty solid season for the Colts right now. His highest card is an 80 overall core elite, so he's definitely due for an upgrade. Delvin Cook came back from injury, had a really solid game for the Vikings yesterday. Vikings are 3-3, and they're kind of weird because I feel like their record could be a lot better, and they could be one of those sneaky, surprising teams that's going to beat some good teams later on in the year. So we'll have to wait and see. But Delvin Cook yesterday, really solid game, 140 rushing yards and 1 touchdown. So obviously Jonathan Taylor had the better performance, but I could still see maybe EA giving Cook the card over Jonathan Taylor. But I think one of these two guys that play the running back position, they got to be a lock for Team of the Week tomorrow. So I'm getting sick and tired of doing this. I'm just going to be honest. I'm tired of giving Cowboys players props and predicting them to get upgrades, but we have to do it once again this week. And there were a lot of really good performances from wide receivers. I have 4 on my list we're going to go over. And for that reason, when we get to like the flashbacks and the LTDs, I won't have any wide receivers in there because I think at minimum we're probably going to see 2 wideouts get cards tomorrow. CeeDee Lamb is one of them. He had the game-winning touchdown in overtime against the Patriots. 9 receptions, 140. I think I wrote 149. It might be 147. Is 140 and some change, right? Receiving yards and 2 touchdowns again, including that game winner against the Patriots. So CeeDee Lamb, one of 4 wide receivers, I think it's an upgrade tomorrow. Yesterday, I tweeted that I think Kupp is the best wide receiver in the NFL, and I am dead serious when I say this. Now, Davante Adams might be a little bit better, and obviously he was the best wide receiver last year. I'm just talking about this season. Every time I'm watching Red Zone or highlights or the Rams are on national TV, this dude Kupp is open. Like, he might be open right now. I could throw him the ball from wherever I'm at here in Syracuse. He's open. He's going to catch it. Yesterday had another great game. I think he's right behind Davante Adams in receptions, yards, and he definitely has more touchdowns. So that's why I think he's the best receiver in the league this year. Yesterday, Kupp, 9 receptions, $130 and 2 touchdowns. He already got kind of like a slight upgrade, a +1. I believe it's a +1. No, actually, I'm wrong there because he had an 80 and then an 84. So he deserves a card in the 90s. I don't think he's going to get one tomorrow, but I'm going to mention him because I think he deserves one. Adam Thielen, great game yesterday. He's already gotten one pretty substantial upgrade this year. It's an 86 overall, so it's not that it's a very usable card at this point in the game, but another Vikings player had a good performance yesterday in that win in overtime against the Panthers. 126 receiving yards. He had 11 receptions and 2 touchdowns as well. Like I said, a lot of really good performances from wide receivers. Could he get a card? Yes. Will he get a card? I'm not 100% sure, but it's another one we just have to mention because he played really well. Donovan Peoples-Jones, I think this is correct in that his best card and only card right now is a silver 69 overall in the game. He had 2 touchdowns yesterday. only 4 receptions, but he had a crazy touchdown to end the half. Browns against the Cardinals, I believe they played, right? A Hail Mary touchdown. He had 101 receiving yards with those 2 touchdowns. I think he's going to be probably one of those like lower overall, either like an 81 or an 85 overall team of the week cards. But I can certainly see him getting an upgrade. Let's move on to defense. I don't have a ton of names on this list for defense, 3 to be exact, and 2 of them have the letter X in their name. That's a stupid fact that I pointed out, and I have no idea why. But Max Crosby has 2 X's in his name, right? Raiders looked really good yesterday. Max Crosby on the defensive end there, 3 sacks total in the game. Now he's got a power up. He got an 82 overall Superstars card. I think he maybe deserves a card up in the 90s. Will he get the defensive, or will he get the player of the week card? Probably not, but he could be maybe one of those, like, you know, the free 88 overall card that we're going to see tomorrow on the defensive end. We'll have to wait and see, but Max Crosby, 3 sacks in 1 game, certainly deserving of an upgrade. Fun fact, there were 3 players yesterday in week 6 that got 2 interceptions in 1 game, and we're not going to go over all of them. We're just going to say Xavier Mckinney from the New York Giants. Look at me giving the Giants props, the Cowboys props, no Eagles on my list. What is wrong with me right now? Xavier McKinney, we're going to go ahead and assume he could be the other option, or maybe the 81 overall option for team of the week, like the lower end card. So 2 interceptions in his game yesterday. Xavier McKinney, favorite for team of the week. I'm guessing that all of you knew this was coming. TJ Watt, great performance last night. Pretty much won the game for the Steelers, right? Game ending, well, the game ended in a fumble. I'm sorry, not a fumble, but a field goal. But he caused a fumble, which basically, you know, the Steelers recovered the ball, field goal range, boom, kicked the 3, went home with the W. But TJ Watt, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble. You could tell that everybody in the world thought this guy is going to get a team of the week card, because as soon as that game ended, I sold my core elite TJ Watt for $112K, and he was up into the high 100 ranges. Now the price is settling down, but he's still up compared to what he was earlier in the week. TJ Watt, though, I think he's going to end up getting one of the cards, maybe player of the week. It's either going to be him or one of those 4 wide receivers that we mentioned. He did get an 84 overall team of the week, which means he got the +1 treatment, but could we see him get the 92 overall player of the week? Certainly think it's a possibility. So let's go ahead and take a look at last week's sets and use those to kind of determine who's going to be the defensive heroes, the flashback heroes. We got an LTD to guess on, and player of the week. So remember, with the LTD, it's a current day player, somebody who is actively playing in the NFL right now, who had a good performance in a previous year other than the year we are in right now, 2021. And we talked about Kyler Murray at the top of the video. This week's performance in 2021, deserving of a card. The yardage wasn't there, the touchdowns were. But if we flash back to 2019, he had another good game in week number 6, 340 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. I think that win was against the Falcons. So I think Kyler, if he doesn't get one for this year's performance in week 6, he should get the LTD for the previous year in 2019. Some other options that we have here, Todd Gurley, which I think probably would have been the Rams. This is in 2018, 208 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground, and then 2 pretty good performances on the defensive end still in 2018. We're predicting LTDs here. Bradley Chubb, he had 3 sacks in 1 game, and then Zadarius Smith, he had 3 sacks as well, but he also had a forced fumble. So a couple different options there. I could see Kyler or Todd Gurley getting the LTD if TJ Watt is not the player of the week. If TJ Watt is the player of the week, it's going to be one of those 2 guys, Kyler or Todd Gurley. If he is not, then they could go defense and give us either Bradley Chubb or Zadarius Smith. I don't think they'll give us both, because those are such similar positions and players. Now let's talk about the flashback heroes. So remember, the flashback heroes are players who had good performances in week number 6 of a previous year, but they are also players who are not actively in the NFL, so basically legends, if we want to call them that. In 2015, we went back and took a look. A lot of good defensive guys, a lot of good pass rushers. Cameron Wake in 2015 had 4 sacks in 1 game and 2 forced fumbles. If that's not deserving of a team of the week card, I don't know what is. Now in 2012, and I think this would be an absolute great card to put into the game, RG3, Robert Griffin III. Listen to this. He had 182 passing yards and 1 touchdown. Not very great, right? Not awful as well. but he also had 138 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns there. So we're looking at basically right around 400 yards total, if my math's correct. Maybe not. I was actually way off. It's about 320 yards. Anyway, it's still pretty good, right? 3 total touchdowns, 2 rushing, 1 passing. RG3 would be a fun card to have in MUT. I'm sure a lot of people would want that. And then also in 2012, John Abraham, who's gotten a flashback team of the week last year. I can't remember for which week. Maybe it was the same performance. In one game, he had 3 sacks and 1 forced fumble. So there's an offense and a defense from 2012. In 2011, Michael Turner, EA had the rights to his card last year. I believe it was a team diamond that he had, so I wouldn't be surprised if they have the rights to him again. Michael Turner in 2011, 139 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and then in 2011, this one won't happen, but as an Eagles fan and somebody who's rocking an Eagles theme team, I can only hope the legend himself, Kurt Coleman. Yes, I called him a legend. I don't know why. Kurt Coleman in 2011, he had 3 interceptions in 1 game. Finally, 2 other options for offense for heroes here. In 2009, Drew Brees. I'm guessing EA is still going to have the rights to him, and we'll see a Drew Brees card eventually in the game this year. He had 369 passing yards in 1 game and 4 touchdowns. And then Maurice Jones-Drew had 133 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns in 1 game. So I think player of the week is end up going to be TJ Watt. It'll be a 92 overall. I think the LTD is either going to be Kyler Murray or Todd Gurley. And then the champions, the flashback players, 1 on offense, 1 on defense. I'm hoping the offensive one is going to be RG3 if they don't go with Kyler Murray. And then on defense, Kurt Coleman or maybe even that Cameron Wake would be a pretty good option. So we'll see. I'm sure all of these predictions will be incorrect, at least for the flashback players, because I don't think we've hit on one yet. We're going to try our hardest all week or every single week, but we'll see what happens. But that's all we got. Let me know your predictions down below in the comment section. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.